Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hopefully you're enjoying your Wednesday afternoon and evening and staying safe out there, especially areas that are getting impacted by this winter storm right now. Some people enjoy it, some people hate it, some people just don't care. But either way, it's very impactful, especially areas that are going to get hit by a nasty ice storm that's ongoing right now. But I really think the worst of it's going to get going in Arkansas, the Quad States area, southern areas of Illinois, Ohio, and really southern areas of Indiana is what I meant to say. But very impactful storm. So we're going to get going here. If you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button for me. Like the video if you like it. And thank you all for the amazing support. Getting closer to 25K, which was pretty much my 2022 goal. And y'all are going to make that happen within 2 months of the year. So thank you all for the amazing support. My social media links are over here. It's a great way to just stay up to date with the latest information as I try to post as much as possible on Facebook and Twitter. So definitely hit that up. But thank you all for the amazing support. I'm not going to talk too much longer on this. If you guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray for you guys. It gives others an opportunity to pray for you guys. And I've really seen it work in the comments. It has. It's been incredible. I wake up at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I read over all of it and I pray over it. I do it in the afternoons too, and other people do it too. And it's just amazing seeing it work like that. And that's just amazing. It really is. God is good. So what we got going here, this is all the winter weather alerts going on. The pink is the winter storm warnings deep down in Texas. Ice storm warnings in the purple area. This is actually, I'm brain farting here, flood watches right into here in the Tennessee areas of North Georgia, Alabama. That's an element of this storm too. There's going to be flooding. And then these colors right in here, you got winter weather advisories, winter storm watches. These are actually winter weather advisories here in this weird purple color. And then this bluish kind of teal color up here is winter storm watches for areas of the Northeast. So this is ongoing right now, right? If we take a look at the radar, what's going on out of Dallas currently, this will get in motion here. Most of Dallas is rain as of it would be 5:50 Central Standard Time out there for you guys, but the western areas and the northwestern areas of the city starting to break out in freezing rain. Then it will go to sleep, but it'll take a while. You'll probably stay at freezing rain and sleep for a while. But this is as of right now. By the time some of you guys watch this video, it'll be totally different. Might be snowing, might just be all out ice. But we go up to Oklahoma City, you folks are seeing snow and sleet, and it's pretty heavy at times. So it's coming down. The storm's pretty much unfolding exactly the way we thought it is. We go a little bit further out to the northeast. We'll go out to the Springfield area of Missouri. And this storm is just starting to kind of move into this area. You're starting to see some precipitation move back into Missouri after y'all have already dealt with it. In fact, some of it's still falling in areas of southeast Missouri. But you see this pink, that's freezing rain. Fort Smith, areas of Arkansas, reporting rain right now, but you're going to get into this freezing rain as the Arctic area surges down. But it's really hard to show y'all much of the radar because this is right now as of around 6 p.m. Y'all's time. So let's go and start looking at the HRRR model. So we're going to start it off at 12 a.m., which is around midnight. But, don't look at these timestamps and say they're set in stone. It's give or take an hour. So this is around 12 a.m., so around midnight. It's starting off. You're already into ice for areas into North Texas. You still got rain falling in areas of eastern Texas. You're still snowing in Oklahoma City, point south. You got an ongoing ice storm going on in far southeast areas of Oklahoma. This is really starting to move in the northern portions of Arkansas. You've got more precipitation moving into Missouri here in the next couple hours. It starts to hit areas like St. Louis again after y'all have already seen several inches of snow, I'm sure, today. And then here comes the crazy ice storm that's going to end up being very impactful for these areas, cranking up overnight. You might go to bed and it might be raining in portions of Arkansas or not doing anything, and you'll wake up and everything's going to be coated with ice. This storm is still ongoing as we're getting into the sunrise period. You're waking up in the morning around 6, 7, 8 a.m. The freezing rain might turn to you might wake up and it's snowing in Dallas and Fort Worth. This actually trended a little bit snowier for you guys, where it looks like y'all will end as a period of snow tomorrow morning in Dallas and North Texas and things like that. But you're getting into the overnight hours. We'll back it up until about 4 to 6 a.m. here in Arkansas, central to northern Arkansas, Little Rock, up to the Ozarks, all-out ice storm. I think areas of northwest Arkansas will get spared overnight and be mostly snow, but we'll see how that plays out for you folks. But the ice starts to move into areas of western Tennessee and the Quad States as you're waking up tomorrow morning, and an all-out ice storm breaks loose. You even got ice storm warnings now in counties in northwest and western areas of Mississippi where you could get over a 1/4 inch of ice. But the ice storm really cranks up all through the morning. The precipitation continues to fill in. You're getting into tomorrow morning. The big concern here is you don't have an ice storm in these areas at around 31, 32 degrees. you got ice and freezing rain falling at below 30 degrees. So I back it up here and I look at a sounding here and deep in southeast. Well, let's take a look at a sounding in around western Kentucky. And you're wondering, well, Mitch, if it's 29 degrees right here, which is showing at the surface, why isn't it snowing, right? Why isn't it snowing? It's cold enough, it's below freezing. Isn't it supposed to snow when it's below freezing? Well, that's not how it works, and that's a common misunderstanding when it comes to the weather, and they think it's so cut and dry, but it's not. And I know a lot of people don't care too much about the science of it, but I'll briefly go over it because it's good to understand. You know, I saw a lot of people complaining to the National Weather Service in St. Louis today saying, why isn't it snowing? And they were saying it's raining. Well, there's more that goes into it. They forecasted ice to start, and then it goes to snow. So what we got going on here is it's 29 degrees at the surface. This is the surface all the way down here. We start aloft. This is 200 and 100 millibars. This is several thousand feet up in the air, right where the jet stream sits. The temperatures is well below freezing. This 0 degrees Celsius right here, that's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So that line shoots up in the atmosphere, and just think of this as the 32 degree line. So the temperatures are warming as you drop in levels of the atmosphere. It's getting closer to the surface. Then you get to around 4, 5, 6,000 feet up in the air, and the temperature actually, which is the red line, actually rises above 32 degrees. So any snow or sleet melts into just plain rain because it's above 32 degrees, 4, 5, 6,000 feet up in the air. And then it goes back below freezing at around 1, 2, 3,000 feet up in the air. And at the surface, it's well below freezing. So it doesn't have time to freeze back into sleet. So therefore, it falls as rain on the surface, but it's freezing on the surface, so you have freezing rain. And this is what you call a warm nose. It even kind of looks like a warm nose. You know, anybody who knows just a little bit about weather knows about the dreaded warm nose, which creates a lot more icy of situations. But we'll continue to go after yapping about that. We're getting into about noontime tomorrow. The ice storm is still raging on. And what I want to watch here is a period of light freezing rain that might break out over deep in southeast Texas. This might get very close to Houston. And as we're getting into tomorrow evening, so I would not be surprised if some winter weather advisories are actually extended southward, maybe all the way into Houston. This started showing up yesterday, but it has freezing rain showing up all the way into the Gulf Coast of Texas as you're getting into the overnight hours. And this actually continues for several hours. So there's going to be a glaze, I think, in southeast Texas tomorrow. Not a lot of people are talking about that, but it's going to be there. We go a little bit further up and look at the Ohio Valley. Here comes that next round of frozen precipitation. This will be much further south. Please don't do that to me. All right. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. This area of, it does that, it seems like every few videos to me in the middle of the video. But as we're going through in time here, the snow's breaking out. This is the overnight hour, so it's about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning tonight for the Ohio Valley. The precipitation starts to break out where there's a little bit of a break initially. Freezing rain ongoing in southern Illinois, southern areas of Indiana. Heck, it might even just be rain for areas of southern Indiana at first. Just rain in a lot of Kentucky instead of, unless you're in western areas of Kentucky. But you notice this does not make it to Chicago. You got a little bit of a weird directional flow of a lake effect snow band that might give you a little bit of snow in Chicago. But other than that, the heaviest snow states is south, and you're waking up tomorrow morning. This is around 8 or 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. All-out ice storm going on in Kentucky and the Quad States and southern Indiana and far, far southern areas of Illinois. Most of Illinois will be snow, though. And then you have an ice storm breaking out in areas of Ohio, all snow for Cleveland and northern Ohio. And this continues. And at the same time, it's sagging south. We're getting into the afternoon hours tomorrow, and then the cold air really begins to sink southward. And then these areas are in ice, for example, in central Ohio starts to switch to snow tomorrow, but I think it might remain mostly ice and sleet for areas of southern Ohio through the duration of the storm. And then we're getting into West Virginia, and western areas of West Virginia can start to see some ice accumulations. But we got to watch to see how much this moisture lingers around. There's actually a little bit more moisture starting to trend a little bit more upward here. And this is getting into the overnight hours tomorrow night, into the morning hours of Friday morning, and still showing a lot of snow showers kind of scattered about. So you might get a period of snow actually late tomorrow night into Friday morning that might put a coating on everything that gets hit by the ice. You look at the latest HRRR model from the northeast. We're getting into the morning hours, getting into tomorrow morning, 10, 11, 12, early afternoon hours at this point. So we'll freeze it around 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Heavy snow falling in northern Ohio, heavy snow in Erie, Pennsylvania, and far northwestern areas of Pennsylvania, and pretty much snow for the interior Northeast. Now Pittsburgh, I mentioned you folks a couple. I'm trying to mention you guys a lot because it's going to be a real battle zone in that area. I think y'all are going to remain ice for most of the event. And I was looking at your forecasted ice totals for your National Weather Service. They're kind of low, so I'm going to compare and contrast some ice totals for you guys. But as you can tell, the purple is the sleet. We're getting into tomorrow evening. You got sleet in Pittsburgh, and then it might switch to a couple hours of heavy snow for you folks in Pittsburgh. But, the heavy snow continues throughout late evening, overnight tomorrow night, into Friday morning. And then for areas of the big cities like Boston, New York City, the jury's still out if you are going to end with any kind of significant period of winter weather. I think there's winter storm watches out for these kind of areas right here as we're getting into about noon to 1 p.m. Friday. There's still a question mark. Will you get an enhancement off this low pressure that might try to redevelop? Not sure, but I don't think this is going to really make it into areas of Washington, D.C. and stuff. So let's look at these totals right here. So this is from now through the rest of the storm. So obviously you're thinking, well, when I watched the video this morning, the totals were showing higher. Well, the first wave has already moved through Missouri. So we're talking about the second wave now that's cranking up here. And still several inches of snow is expected, even in St. Louis. I'm not sure how much snow y'all have already seen in St. Louis. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me. But over a half a foot more of snow is coming. And then I think northwest areas of Arkansas is going to get hit pretty good with this wave that's coming out. And then obviously areas of central to south central areas of Illinois, like we've been talking about very frequently, is going to get hit by heavy snow. Look at freezing rain totals based off the National Weather Service. And a pretty decent glaze in Dallas, pushing maybe 15th to a 20th of an inch of ice. That's definitely enough to visibly see a lot of ice. And then at anywhere from a 10th to a 20th of an inch of ice, which is decent ice. That's enough to make the tree limbs start to sag and maybe snap some small limbs. Showing up here all the way through central Texas. And then we're going to zoom into here in these areas here in a second. But I want to mention, this is the European totals. Much more higher, right? And it's probably because it's not accounting for melting. And these are probably overdone. But I honestly think if you mix what the European is showing, mix with what the National Weather Service is showing, I think that actually might be something better to look at. And we're going to get a little bit closer for you folks in Arkansas and the Quad States. I'm talking western Tennessee, areas of western Kentucky, and then a very small area of also Illinois that I think will be in a lot of ice. And then deep in southeast Missouri, this is the Quad States areas. It's basically the same area that got slammed by the tornadoes back in mid-December, unfortunately. It's going to end up getting a crippling ice storm. But this is the National Weather Service, talking almost 3/4 of an inch of ice in portions of the Quad States area into and close to Little Rock. And, Memphis, they're calling from a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch of ice. That is going to do damage, guys. It really is. You got ice starting to show up all the way deep into Mississippi. You compare that with the European totals. If this was to happen, I don't like to use this word because it's a really hyped up word, but it would be catastrophic. It would be a crippling ice storm. This will be lights out. If you start to get over an inch of ice buildup on trees, that's going to even bring down bigger trees. That's definitely going to knock down power lines. The power lines are going to sag even if nothing falls on them. I hope you guys got a generator because, I wouldn't say it's too late, but this storm is going to be moving in overnight tonight. That's why this is such a big update with this video. This is a big, big deal right here with these ice totals. So please be prepared in these areas. I've seen these kind of ice storms here in South Carolina about 8 years ago, 2014. We had a very bad ice storm. And when I was going to work, I had to drive about an hour. And on my ride home to work, I actually had to drive through the areas that had got hit the hardest by this ice storm. And it looked like a hurricane went through. It looked like it was just incredible the amount of tree damage that was done by what was an inch of ice that fell in these areas. So please take the ice serious, guys. It looks like rain, but it's not. It is, but it's freezing on the surface. Remember that. So this is my folks in Ohio Valley. You're still expecting a lot of snow. There's the second wave that's going to come through. It's already snowing in these areas still. I didn't show you all the radar out of these areas, but it's still snowing in these areas. And from now until the end of the event, expect several inches of snow stretching from Missouri all the way through the Ohio Valley and Cleveland. Almost a foot of snow expected between now and then. And a lot of snow, but notice Ohio is cut in half. Ohio is a big question mark. And then areas of PA is definitely cut in half. If you're in Pittsburgh, just north of y'all, several inches of snow. Just south of y'all, and where you're located, maybe just more ice than anything. But you look at the freezing rain totals for these areas from the National Weather Service, and Kentucky looks to get hit bad. In fact, let's go on and get a little closer to Kentucky right now. And I think northern Kentucky and northwest Kentucky and western Kentucky, you guys are going to get a bad ice storm. I really do think y'all are. Well over a half an inch of ice. Please be prepared for these areas. Even in southern Ohio, a lot of ice. And you compare that with the European, this would be devastating ice totals. I don't think this is going to verify, but I will be interested to see how much ice y'all get in these areas. So keep me informed. Stay safe for real for these guys. Like I said, I hope you guys got a generator. I know I don't have a generator, so I know not everybody's fortunate to have a generator or anything like that. But definitely check on your neighbors if you can in these areas during this ice storm, because it's going to get bad quick. It really is. You're actually going to want to hope that the rain is falling really hard, because normally when you have heavy freezing rain, it's harder for it to accumulate on stuff like tree limbs and power lines. So you're going to hope that it's actually a heavy freezing rain instead of a moderate to light freezing rain. But nothing's changed for you folks in the interior Northeast. I mean, nothing has. You're expecting a big-time snowstorm in the mountains of the interior Northeast and Maine, well over a foot. Nothing's really changed for this area. These ice totals just south of the axis of heavy snow, there's this weird area showing up here where folks in the Scranton area is trying to say that they're going to get well over a quarter to almost a half inch of ice. I don't know about all that, but we'll see. We'll see. A little bit closer look at you folks in Pennsylvania and PA, because I think this is going to be a battleground in this state too. I think most of Pennsylvania is going to see a glaze of ice, except maybe up towards Lake Erie and Erie in general. I think y'all might stay mainly sleet and snow. But you compare this with the European model, it's a much different. In fact, it shows very bad ice totals in Pittsburgh, and that would be a bad scenario if y'all are getting over a half an inch of ice in Pittsburgh. I don't know when's the last time y'all had a really bad ice storm, but that would be really bad. So we'll end this video by talking about the Carolinas, and I know a lot of people are wondering here. This storm has trended away. Now, I'm not saying it's gone, but this is the latest GFS, and it looks downright pitiful. This is probably the height of the storm right here. You got a little bit of freezing rain showing up in areas of the eastern Carolinas, but that's about it. I want to show y'all what the trend looks like here. We'll go all the way to the point where the storm looked the biggest, right, which is right here. This was several runs ago. Now look at this trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's trended very suppressed, which means less amplified, which means less moisture. And this storm had a lot of work cut out for itself anyways, but it's not over. There's a little bit of ingredients there to make something happen, but there's a lot going against it. But I still would not be surprised if there is some kind of winter frozen precipitation Sunday morning for someone in the Carolinas. I really think I really think there will be. And my confidence is high that there'll be something, but I do not think it's going to be impactful at all. I really don't. But the GFS has definitely caved to all the other models. The GFS was on its own. It was on an outliner for a while. And now it has kind of caved to the European. And the European still shows something, by the way, but it's barely. It shows moisture off the coast. But this is why it's trended. The system has really just trended more flat and less amplified. I mean, that's pretty much all you can put it. It's not really connecting to any other piece of energy in the northern stream. The southern stream, it's kind of was always on its own. And it's just not coming together. So we'll continue to monitor this, because the last 3 weeks I've called Wednesday Bad Trends Wednesday, because it seems like for us folks in the Carolinas, we keep having these bad trends for people who want winter weather, and then it seems like when we get into Thursday, the trends start trending back into a better solution for winter weather fans like myself. Obviously, I don't want a crippling ice storm, but it would be cool to see some snow and a fourth weekend in a row for us in the Carolinas to have a threat for winter weather. So that's all I got, guys. Y'all stay safe out there tonight. I'll have you a video tomorrow morning, even though it'll be ongoing. People will probably not have power, but my prayers go out to you guys. Thoughts and prayers go out to you guys. And y'all stay safe out there. Stay warm, and just be ready to what's coming, because it's going to be a very impactful ice storm. God bless all y'all. Stay safe.